Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Monday Night Raw, or Moon Day Night Raw. I, Tony Schiavone, with Renee Young and Wade Barrett, and today on Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw, we're gonna have a good show here today. We got many things going on. We got Thor and Gunther, and they're wrong. We have Wonder Woman and Chris Jericho and her war. We got Seth Rollins and Medusa. I mean, who hasn't had some kind of wrong between each other? Tony Schiavone said. Well, to be earnest with you, Tony, I can't think of anyone right now that hasn't had any binds or wrongs done to them. Yes, we do have Thor and Gunther. We do got Wonder Woman and Chris Jericho. Those folks have a wrong, a war between each other. Well, I can tell you what, Gunther has every right in the world to be irked or angered at Thor with the hammer. And as far as Chris Jericho and Wonder Woman goes, oh, I just can't come up with grounds why they don't like each other. But I truly believe at the end of the day that it's all going to work out right. At least that's my belief. At least that's my belief of, what's going on. And at least I think I know, what is going on between those two. And now we're going to hopefully, bring an end to it. I don't know why Chris Jericho and Wonder Woman aren't getting along. I don't know why Thor and Gunther are getting along. But now we're going to have Wonder Woman come to the ring now. Wade Barrett said this will be fun. Alright. Chris Jericho, me and you, we got to bring this wrong, this war, whatever you want to call it, blood fight, whatever you want to call it, blood war to an end. And I'm thinking at Halloween Havoc or Halloween Evening Madness or Halloween Night Madness, I'm thinking at the end of the day, it's going to be me and you, Chris Jericho, and I can work any weapon that happens to be, from Halloween Evening or Halloween Night. Yeah. You can just think of it as the worstest thing that could ever happen to you, and then just times it. Well, a man like you, Chris Jericho, probably doesn't really care that much about times. Shit. But here's, what we're going to do. I can hit you in the head with that pumpkin, or whatever the English word is for that round squash. I can hit you with the witch hat, or the smaller round squash, or I can take that scythe over there, which is made for cutting grass and stuff, cutting the yard, and I can hit you with that. We can call it a trick or treat match, or a stunt or fleet match. And hey, we don't have to yield to about 6 in the evening, and it don't have to end to about 8 at night. Because we're not following near and share laws when it comes to that, or even Gabbard laws when it comes to that, or Reich laws when it comes to that. So Wonder Woman, you think you're woman enough to call me out for a stunt and fleet match? Like we haven't done enough of those, huh? Yeah, well, guess what, Wonder Woman? You're going to lose. And you're going to lose to me. And I'm going to tell you why you're going to lose to me. Because I have been in the wrestling business for years. Yeah, I have. I started out in SW, known as Stampede Wrestling, or SW. I spent some time in NJPW. And then I went to ECW and WCW and WWF and WWE. 2 runs, yeah, and then AEW. So I am always crafting myself, always shifting myself. I'm not the same Chris Jericho I was in SW or NJPW or ECW or WCW or WWF or WWE. You know, hell, the same Chris Jericho in SW, NJPW, SMW, ECW, WCW, WWF, WWE, or AEW. Oh yeah, Chris Jericho, like you're not the same one. Yeah, you cut your hair short, but you're the same creep you always been. And so me and you at Halloween Havoc, or Hallow Evening Madness, or Hallow Night Madness, which is Thursday this year, I'm gonna put the end to you. I don't know why you started it. I don't know why you started shit with me. But at the end of the day, I know that I don't know why you started shit with me, but I know it's gonna end. Ha ha. So you think you're going to beat me, huh? Well, put your gout where your mouth is. Put your gout where your mouth is. Because there's no way you're gonna beat me. But we can have a match here today, just to show you how I can beat you. Alright, Chris Jericho, that's enough from you. So, Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, or Aldeling Diana. We all know that Chris Jericho and you don't get along, Astronomer says. And you got your match at Halloween Havoc or Hallow Evening Madness on the 31st of the Thursday of the 10th month. And even though WWE's going to do theirs before the TWF does, at least ours is going to be good. So, here today, Wonder Woman fights Chris Jericho. And then you have your match at Hallow Evening Madness or Hallow Evening Night. Astronomer says, yeah, Ecliptor said, yeah, you're going to have the Trick or Treat match or Stunner Fleet match. Astronomer says, I'll tell you what, Ecliptor says, I wonder just who's going to win. The Wonder Woman doll we got from the Vinlander thrift metal, or the Chris Jericho doll we got at the Helping Fighting Arm thrift shop. Ecliptor says, I want to know. Oh yeah, Astronomer. You're nothing more than a Stephanie McMahon wannabe. Yeah, well, this Stephanie McMahon wannabe's put you in a ring with Wonder Woman, so get a life, Chris Jericho. Well, Wonder Woman and Chris Jericho are going to fight here today. They're going to fight here today, on Dynamite, or on Dynamite, or Might, And now we got the Fight Lord, in the ring now. This match is for the and the Fight Lord in the ring now, Tony Schiavone says, and Wonder Woman coming in. Oh, the Hidden Breaker. Chris Jericho did the Hidden Breaker to Wonder Woman, Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, he's did the Hidden Breaker. He did that in his 2-diff run in WWE, Renee Young says. And now he wants to do the Walls of Jericho. If that he still does that or not, Renee Young says. Wade Barrett says, I think Chris Jericho still does the Hidden Breaker. I think he still does the Walls of Jericho. I think he still does some other shit. And Wonder Woman's not yielding. It's going to take a lot to beat Aldeling Diana, Wonder Woman, who strikes and knocks down Chris Jericho, Tony Schiavone says. Let me tell you something right now, Wade Barrett says. Wonder Woman, Diana Aldling Diana, what do you want to call her? She's nothing more than a Cody Rhodes wannabe. You see, she likes to do the catastrophe kick, the Wonder Woman cutter, round street, like Cody Rhodes does. Here, catastrophe kick. The Wonder Woman cutter. See, Wade Barrett says, a Cody Rhodes knockoff, a Cody Rhodes wannabe. Wade Barrett says, would you stop with that, Tony Schiavone says. And now Wonder Woman did the round street, the Chris Jericho, the former WWE heavyweight fighter, the former 8-time World Heavyweight fighter, former AEW heavyweight fighter, Chris Jericho, is in a bind now. And the former 2-time WCW heavyweight fighter is in a bind too. Chris Jericho is going to be beat by Wonder Woman here today on Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw, Tony Schiavone says. 1, 2, and a kick out. Well, Renee Young says Wonder Woman might have to go back to the playboard, back to the drawing board, and come up with a new game goal to beat Chris Jericho. Oh, Chris Jericho just ran Wonder Woman right into that steeple. He hit her with a code breaker, Tony Schiavone says. He rammed her back first into that ring stapler, hit her with a code breaker, and now Chris Jericho is down on her. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho has beat Wonder Woman here today on here today on Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw, Tony Schiavone says. You know, Tony Schiavone says. Yeah. Chris Jericho beat Wonder Woman here today, and even though a lot of folks believe that Wonder Woman had the upper hand, at the end of the day, it was Chris Jericho who ended up beating her, Tony Schiavone says. Somehow, someway, Chris Jericho got the upper hand on the Wonder Woman. We don't know how that happened, but somehow, someway, he did. And we know Wonder Woman, she's not going to be happy, with losing to Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, of all folks, Tony Schiavone says. Well, I would guess not, Renee Young says. That at the end of the day, Chris Jericho probably thinks he's king of the world, or Kaiser of the world, or highest leader of the world right now after beating Wonder Woman, Renee Young says. I would say so too, Tony Schiavone says. That's most likely Chris Jericho's thought of himself. I tell you one thing right now. Chris Jericho beat Wonder Woman here today on Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw. And he did it uncooked, uncut, and unclean, Wade Barrett said. That used to be the old saying, until they shifted it to must be Moon Day. Well, anyway, Jim Ross is now with Chris Jericho. Alright, thank you, Tony Schiavone and Renee Young. I'm going to be talking with Chris Jericho here today on Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw. Chris Jericho, we know you and Wonder Woman have your match coming up at Halloween Havoc, Evening Madness on the 31st, but you beat her here today. Oh, I know I could do it, Jim Ross. Like you say, I keep on shifting myself. I'm not the same Chris Jericho in SW or NJPW or SMW or ECW or WCW or WWF or WWE or AEW. I'm not the same Chris Jericho that won the WWE heavyweight winnings, the WCW heavyweight winnings 2 times, the World Heavyweight winnings at least 8 times, or won the AEW heavyweight winnings once. No, you keep on shifting yourself over all these years, Chris, but you're still the same bully, creep, and heel you've always been. Yeah, 'cause I always do more good work when I am a heel. You know, didn't you know all that shit I did to everybody all those years? And I beat Wonder Woman, Aldeling Diana, Diana Aldeling, whatever you want to call her. I beat a DC South. I beat a Warner Bros. Discovery DC South. Isn't that so cool? I just hope that TNT and TBS don't get irked after hearing that. Well, I just hope that Netflix, CW, and USA don't get irked after hearing that. All right, back to you, Tony Schiavone and Renee Young. Thank you, Jim Ross, for talking with, Chris Jericho here today on Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw. That's all the time we got here. I, Tony Schiavone, with Renee Young and Wade Barrett. We hope you like Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw, and we'll see you tomorrow for NXT.